Welcome to
Episode 49.
Drop Bear and
Save
Panda.
the world. I think there's a squirrel in our kitchen.
There is. Yeah, it's a little fuzzy buddy.
Yeah, we tend to leave our back door open, and the squirrels seem to think it's okay to come take the birdseed.
The only thing that would be more Canadian than that would be if we had a beaver come in the house.
He was like, hey guys, sorry, I'm coming in, I'm just gonna help myself.
Yep. Where's your birch trees at?
Yeah, you've got no birch trees here, but you don't have any maple trees either. What's up with that?
But that little beaver guy, there's Manitoba maple trees.
In Alberta. They have no respect for borders.
No.
Nope.
Sure don't.
Nope.
Keep your maple trees to yourself, Manitoba.
But we like trees.
That's true.
Alberta doesn't have a lot.
No, I saw an oak tree yesterday.
Just one?
Yeah. It was like just sitting there in a park.
Hey guys, I'm an oak tree.
Look at my fancy leaves.
So fancy.
Do you want an acorn?
Why do we always go off the rails right away?
I don't know.
This is probably what happens is people tune in and then we lose half of them.
Yeah.
Within the first 2 minutes.
So want to give a shout out, of course, to our amazing sponsor, the Friday Sock Company.
Friday Sock Company.
Oh, that's like a little jingle.
I know.
It's like, now it's going to be in my head forever and ever.
Not sorry about that.
Friday Sock Company. So you put out a call to action on Drop Bear and Panda's Facebook, and we ended up getting some private messages.
Not just Facebook, but everywhere.
Yeah, but everywhere. What's your favorite thing about Canada? Mm-hmm. And out of all the people that submitted...
She was very passionate.
we drew Grace Lou.
Grace Lou.
For her suggestions. Thank you so much, Grace. We're going to send you out some Friday socks from the Friday Sock Company.
We sure as heck are.
Ethically made...
Purposely mismatched.
Socks from the
Friday Sock Company.
So it's Canada's birthday coming up.
Yes, it's going to be tomorrow on July 1st. Like it is every year on July 1st.
Happy Canada Day.
Canada Day.
152.
152.
Hey, apropos of nothing about that number, what was happening 100 years ago in 1919?
Well... in 1918, World War I had ended.
Yeah.
So I would say probably the most exciting thing,
Yeah.
the Treaty of Versailles.
Oh, that was like a bunch of conferences over the course of that year.
Yeah, to make sure that war never happened again.
Enter World War II. And then the Korean War, and then the Vietnam conflict, and then the Iranians.
Yeah, so it worked out well.
Yeah.
And we made Germany pay for everything. And they only just stopped paying for World War I in the last year or two.
Wow.
I think, yep. Just recently.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Financing, OAC.
Speaking of Germany, they're still in the Women's World Cup.
They are so, which is really great.
We're supposed to be making this episode all about Canada, but we still have to talk about World Cup because I say so.
Yeah, well, so the quarterfinal happens on the 30th?
Soon.
Today, the 29th.
Well, okay, so we're
You'll be
recording
listening-
this on Saturday. This comes out on the Sunday, and Canada Day is on the Monday.
Yeah, so Germany's playing Sweden right now.
Sweden.
Is it right now?
I don't know.
Almost.
We're talking in the past for the future about the day on the next future.
Speaking of which, Bill and Ted 3 is coming out.
So
sometime.
excited.
Yeah. Anyway, so whoever wins between Germany and Sweden will go against the Netherlands.
Go Germany!
Yeah. And then later this week, England versus United States.
Oh my God, England, you better kick so much ass.
Yeah. And
Bam,
then
bam.
And then the finals are next Sunday.
Yep.
And there will be bets, let me tell you.
Oh my God. I like how World Cup always ends on a weekend.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
It means I don't have to book any time off of work. I will say, though, Canada, bringing it back to Canada.
Yeah.
What happened,
Yeah.
Canada?
Yeah. And you know what? So I watched that game. You didn't get to see it.
I followed it on the Google machine
Oh, yeah.
at work. I kept refreshing my screen, and it was 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Halftime, 0. And then Sweden 1, Canada 0. And I cried a little bit.
Oh, well, and so watching the game, Canada certainly outplayed them, and they had the possession.
We were favored to win by a very little bit. We were pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, but the problem was as soon as they got close to the box, they couldn't put it in. Like, they couldn't score.
I
And
know a lot of men who are the same way.
oh, the Sweden defense was just, it was up there. Anyway, so it was, and then we had a free kick, like inside the a penalty inside the box, and damn it, yeah, we came up short.
Yeah.
Just couldn't convert, and I mean, and you could see sort of the team get deflated over the second half. You
Yeah.
know, they just couldn't convert. So Team Canada, you guys did great, but we definitely need to develop more strikers, people that can put the ball on net.
I was very sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, way to go. It's which is why I'm also kind of happy that Sweden is playing against Germany, because on one hand, I was really hoping, well, clearly for Canada to win because I am Canadian.
Yeah.
But if Canada was playing Germany, which they would have,
Yeah.
if they beat Sweden, it would have been the first time
Yeah.
that I would have been rooting against Germany,
Yeah.
which would have been amazing and would
Yeah.
have blew my mind.
Yeah. So in this game, I'm cheering for Sweden.
Yep.
Do you want to make a bet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Germany's going to kick Sweden's ass.
Sweden's going to kick Germany's ass. So there.
Oh my gosh.
So
What are we
what's-
going to bet?
I bet you.
I'm still waiting for my commercial of Panda, by the way.
Yeah.
If listeners remember, and to all you that are new, last Euro Cup, Drop Bear lost horribly,
Yeah.
and he was supposed to make a video commercial about how amazing I am.
Yeah. I did the radio commercial.
Yeah, but I'm still waiting for the video commercial.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
you're welcome. Still waiting.
Yep. Well, you know, perfection. When you are as amazing as Panda is, it's really difficult to capture it all in a 30-second commercial.
Yes, because I'm sure you've been trying to work on it for a year.
Slaving over it for a year. You
Yeah,
can't
that's why you're so busy.
can't even believe it. Yeah. So what's the bet? Oh, bacon pancake breakfast.
So we got to make a bacon pancake breakfast for the other person.
Yeah, making bacon pancakes.
That's not a big bet, but
Well, it's
I
for
will
this,
take you on.
It's for this quarterfinals.
I will take you on. It has to be a epic,
Oh, I
like
want
not just pancakes,
I
but
want
like
berries and whipped cream.
oh yeah, it's got to be like an ultimate
Fresh
breakfast.
squeezed orange juice.
Oh, so if you win, I have to make you like fresh squeezed orange juice and stuff.
Yeah.
I would like mimosas
Oh, okay.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, just make sure that it's
Yeah,
an epic. Yeah.
breakfast. And and with maple syrup, the good kind. Is that Rogers? Rogers maple syrup?
I don't know. My dad gets the best from Ontario or
that
Quebec,
comes right out of the tree.
But that's I'm not gonna have it shipped over by then. But
Yeah.
yes, you mean not like the Safeway brand, no name.
Oh, I'm talking the good shit.
Oh yeah, you go to like the Canada store.
Yeah, the Canada store.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it is Rogers. So Rogers maple syrup is a good one,
I don't
I think.
I don't go by brand. I just know
That's the one I
what's
recognize.
a good one.
It's like the expensive kind. It's like more expensive than gasoline.
There's a mall close to here that has an actual like Canada store. It's
Yeah.
not called Canada Store, but it's an all things Canadian. So
Right.
I will probably go there for maple
Hey,
syrup.
so we're just going to do a short episode today. Where have you been in Canada?
Most places.
Well, name them.
Well,
Start with your the places you've lived, and then places you visited.
well, I was born in Calgary when I was a little baby.
Baby.
We
What hospital?
moved- Grace. I was
Oh,
born at the Grace in Calgary. Then we moved to Nepean, Ontario, which is now a part of Ottawa. I think it got swallowed up by Ottawa.
Yeah.
Then we moved to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, which is across the harbor from Halifax. But now I think it's grown into Bedford, which grew into Halifax, I think. I haven't been there since I was a teenager. And then we moved back to Calgary. We used to drive. We used to do the drive all the time. So my extended family still lives in Southern Ontario. And it was cheaper to drive than to fly at the time.
Yep.
So we've driven from Halifax to Calgary over and over again. I've driven out to Victoria and to Tofino as well.
Yep.
So I've done the drive lots
Yep.
and lots and lots. I've never been to Newfoundland and I've never been to the territories, which I do regret. My dad did live in Yellowknife for a few years, but I was in university at the time and didn't have the money or the time to go visit him. So I've seen the Wawa
The goose.
Canadian goose. I've seen the Sudbury nickel. I've been to, the Amethyst mine just outside of Thunder Bay, Ontario. I've, as we've discussed, hopped icebergs off the coast of Nova Scotia. I've been all over the place. I've been actually a lot more places than a lot of Canadians, I think, have.
It's a big country.
Yeah, it's huge. And I remember when I came to Calgary, I was astounded with how little people here in the West knew about the rest of Canada. Huh. And I think it's because on the East Coast, it's a lot smaller, right? It's a lot easier to travel. In Alberta, Alberta is huge. Yeah. Western Canada is huge. So when you go on a big, long car trip, you make it to the other side of Alberta. Yeah. Right?
Right. Like, isn't Alberta like almost the size of the United Kingdom?
Pretty much, yeah. So when you go on a 2-day trip, you can make it to from Halifax to Toronto, sort of thing, right? Like we've driven to Ottawa in one day.
Wow.
It was an 18-hour drive, but you go across from Nova Scotia to New Brunswick through Quebec, down through southern Ontario, down to Windsor. Basically, you can do all that in one horrible long drive, but you can do it. Western Canada, you can't.
You can get from Calgary to Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly.
In 12 hours.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was just astounded. So, people need to travel across Canada more because we have everything. Yeah. We literally have everything here. Yeah. It is a wonderful country to explore. Ass. It just takes a long time.
That's why. Can you imagine like the early settlers like canoeing? Like,
oh my God, it won't end.
And then portaging.
Yep. No thanks.
Like Captain Canoehead. That's pretty Canadian.
The story of Mr. Canoehead is so incredible, only Mormons would believe it.
It all began during a portage in Algonquin Park.
Oh yeah.
Remember Captain Canoehead?
I sure do.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely do. Where have you been?
Well, born in Calgary, raised just outside of Toronto in a little town called Pickering. In Ajax. And that was a cool place to grow up. I think I told you.
Were they named before or after the scrubbing cleaner?
Ajax cleans your kitchen sink up to twice as easy, twice as fast.
Use Ajax, the foaming cleanser. Cleans your sink just like a whiz.
I want to say that it was named after the scrubbing cleaner.
After?
So
I didn't expect you to say it that way.
Yeah, it's the namesake. The town comes from the scrubbing cleaner. Because we're close to Lake Ontario.
All the chemicals, oh God.
Yeah, and I think I talked about the three-eyed fish that we used to catch in Lake Ontario. And I grew up on Duffin's Creek. And apparently mobsters used to, throw other mobsters off bridges with concrete shoes just down the way.
All right, tap jockey. You owe Fat Tony $50. Cough it up.
Look, mister, I don't got the cash. My clientele, they're all bums. They never pay.
Dude, just get the money.
So it was pretty cool. We used to catch crawfish.
And mobsters.
And snapping turtles and mobsters. And then moved back here. And that's the only place I've lived in Canada. But I've been in Nova Scotia. I've been in Miramichi, New Brunswick. I've been to Quebec, Montreal, Quebec. I've been all over Ontario.
Don't want to forget PEI. PEI is also gorgeous.
And I haven't been there, but my mom used to be a teacher there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And never been to Newfoundland, but I would love to. Where else? All over Manitoba. Winnipeg is an amazing city, but the bugs are incredible in the summer.
They're like condors.
Yeah, totally. Like condors. Saskatchewan, I was almost arrested in Saskatchewan. Then Alberta, all over BC, everywhere.
He's been arrested all over BC and Alberta.
That's not entirely true. I think, but my favorite place in Canada, like the place that blew me away, was probably Tofino Yakulit area, like the Pacific Rim.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Is just it's like where my spirit gets filled again.
We keep talking about moving there.
Yeah.
And we haven't yet.
No, my fault.
Yeah,
Anyway,
entirely your fault. I'm still waiting.
There are how many people per square kilometer in Canada? What's our density
3.5 people
per square kilometer?
per square kilometer.
Jesus.
Yeah, we are massive. We are a huge country, but most of us live within, like, we live very close to the southern border because it's much warmer down there.
Well, and just to put it in perspective, so Calgary, which has 1.5 million people, it's got a pretty big urban sprawl.
Yeah.
And I think we're, I want to say, I'm going to get this wrong, but it'll be close, like 17 or 1,800 people per square kilometer.
Yeah, we have a bigger.
It's about the same as Rome, believe it or not.
Our city, I've been told our city landmass is bigger than New York.
Oh.
We just have 1/12th the amount of people because we have no, we have nothing keeping us in check, right? Because it's flat. So.
Manhattan's population density is 66,940 people per square mile.
We have like one. Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
And Calgary really needs to work on that. I mean, I love the fact that we don't have a lot of people per square mile or square kilometer, but we're taking over Alberta.
1,329 people per square kilometer is what Calgary has.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Anyway, so that's kind of cool. They're trying to build up more higher density housing in Calgary. Lots of that's happening.
Yeah, we need to build up, not out.
Yeah.
But our traffic is out of control. They've basically built because Canada is so big, they've built Canada to need cars because we're so big, right? So you really can't be in Canada without a vehicle unless you don't plan on ever really leaving the Greater Toronto area.
Yeah.
Or survive on subway or something like that. My older sister lived in Toronto for quite some time at Yonge and Eglinton and she didn't have a car and it was great.
Yeah, we don't need one.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need one, but if you wanted to go on a road trip to Thunder Bay to go camping outside on the other side of Ontario, you definitely needed a car.
Yeah.
You could hop on a train, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it's not easy here.
Well, I don't need a car here in Calgary often. And when I do need one, I use a car to go. Otherwise, I'm just on my motorcycle or I'm walking.
Oh, you use the Panda mobile.
Panda mobile.
Yep.
Anyway, so what about this guy that bought the canoe with Canadian Tire money?
Canadian Tire. Oh, my God.
So I've been donating my Canadian Tire money back to Canadian Tire. I don't know what they do with it, but it's like almost legal tender.
Yeah, I have Canadian Tire money. I don't know where it is. Mm-hmm. Usually I say no thanks because I go to Canadian Tire so rarely. But I really should go more often because their stuff isn't that great, but it's actually, some of it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like towels and camping stuff and whatever.
So just for those that aren't in the know, Canadian Tire is this like department store. It's like a Canadian grocery store without the groceries.
It's
so
like a Walmart.
Yeah, so you can get like ammunition.
But it's Canadian.
You can buy rifles in Canada. You can buy a canoe, camping equipment, Panda pools.
Towels, hunting equipment, sporting equipment. You can buy soccer balls. You can also
Bicycles.
go buy,
Rubber rafts.
But like Corningware and kitchen stuff.
And really good
forks, knives. Yeah. Microwaves. Yeah. So it's basically like a Walmart.
Yeah.
But
and
Canadian.
Whenever you buy stuff, depending on how much you buy, you get back Canadian Tire bucks that you can then use on your next purchase. So it's kind of like a coupon.
Yeah, but they're like in 5 cents and 10 cents and whatever.
So it takes a while to add up to real money.
It takes a long time.
But what was this guy's name?
So this gentleman's name is Thomas Turfloth. And just before the Canada Day long weekend, he was able to buy a $900 canoe with $800 worth of Canadian Tire money.
What?
Like a briefcase full. Literally a briefcase full.
So
like, I'm not shitting you.
Can you imagine
an
somebody
actual briefcase.
paying a ransom? Like, I'll let your family go for $900. Canadian Tire
Canadian Tire money.
Small, non-sequential
Sweet!
bills.
That we could actually use that here.
He like opens up the briefcase.
So he made a comment apparently like about 3 years ago. And he had some Canadian Tire money, and then his friends and his family started giving him Canadian Tire money. Word got around, strangers started giving him money who knew his friends and family and whatever. And his 40th birthday came up just at the beginning of June. And he ended up getting a large donation of about $400 worth for his 40th birthday. So he, $500 worth of Canadian Tire money for his 40th birthday. And he ended up going to this Canadian Tire location in Saskatoon and bought this $900
amazing
canoe. And I'm pretty sure the people at the Canadian Tire location were like, fuck my life. I'm quitting right here and now.
It's like a Scrooge McDuck money bin of Canadian Tire.
Yeah, and
bucks.
he said that he was only able to raise 150 of this Canadian Tire money himself.
Wow.
But after his birthday, he went from being like not very close to just like between like June 9th and June 27th or whenever this article came out to just going like that.
It's a Canada Day miracle.
Yeah. Wow. So Terfloth lets out a laugh as he paid for a $777 canoe with Canadian Tire money.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course, there was tax and stuff on top of that, right?
Yeah.
So,
wonder if you have to pay the tax in cash or if you can use Canadian Tire bucks.
well, I'm actually not sure.
I wonder how that works.
So the woman at the till says that her jaw literally dropped when he came up and opened the briefcase. Like I said, a literal briefcase. She said, I didn't know what to do. I was not expecting that at all. She pressed the wrong button on the till and everything because she had never seen anything like that. So she kept like fucking up. With the assistance of another few employees, she quickly made her way through the stacks of currency and stopped just short of $1,000 at $941.
My God.
She said that she had people come in with $200 worth at her till, but she was just blown away. So this is the most she's ever seen.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well done, sir.
Yeah. It's quite the fucking canoe. Like
you win Canada Day.
We'll put a post up there. But yeah it's
who wrote that article? Where did that come from?
CBC.
Nice.
Yeah.
CBC is another great Canadian institution. I didn't appreciate them when I was younger.
No, they're pretty great, and it's funny because when my parents used to listen to it, especially my dad.
Too.
Saturday morning it would be like he'd be working on the sink or working on his car, and he'd have the CBC on, and it was like blah blah CBC blah, and I'm like ooh CBC. I'm like I must be old now, but it's not as dry as I remember it.
No,
maybe because I'm now of the age of the people running the CBC.
that could be it. But it's kind of like I always looked at the BBC as the cool one because they do some pretty wild stuff. But they're also dry and boring also. But the CBC is now my jam.
Yeah.
I love the CBC.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're
shit up.
funded by the government because we're a little bit social.
Yep.
Socialist.
We're
a little bit social. Which is also true.
We should have had a craft beer for this podcast.
But I'm having my
Oh, you're having your latte.
I'm having my latte.
Because there's a lot of craft beer in Canada.
Oh my gosh, there's so much craft beer in Canada.
In Alberta alone.
And you know who made us all love beer?
Who?
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
All fantastic Canadians.
From SCTV.
Good day.
Okay, good day. Welcome to Great White North. I'm Bob McKenzie. This is my brother Doug.
How's it going, eh?
And whoa, did you hear about what? Well, you can tell.
Okay, you hear about the guy who was opening the beer, eh, and went to drink and then did the stupid thing of looking in the bottle and whoa, there's a mouse in his bottle, eh?
Real mouse. Well, I guess it was dead, right? Drowned from beer and drunk too.
It died. It had a smile on its face, eh?
It died from drunk driving in the bottle. But you know what the guy got? Tell him.
A whole case of beer.
Right.
That was in the movie Strange Brew.
Strange Brew.
Yeah.
And some great fucking Canadian TV?
Oh, what?
Well, there's Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
That's a CBC show, right?
Yeah, our friend Andrew Fung is in that.
Yeah. Squirrel's back.
Little Mosque on the Prairie, I actually quite enjoyed.
I never watched that.
You never watched that, which was really quite fun.
Corner Gas.
Corner Gas.
Oh, Schitt's Creek.
Schitt's Creek is so funny.
I love Eugene Levy so much.
And his son.
And his son.
And Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
Schitt's Creek is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. Another TV show that
William Shatner
went under the radar, Billable Hours.
Well, first off, there were lots of pictures of pies.
Like charts?
No.
Like vaginas?
No, the kind you eat.
Like vaginas?
I never watched that.
You never watched that? I used to love Billable Hours. People need to look this shit up. It was about a bunch of lawyers. And they were all so horrible, but hilarious. Very dry humor, very awful people, but so good. We need to put a link to Billable Hours. It was from like 15 years ago, but so good.
I'm going to list
Made
off
in Canada was also so good. I
seen
could go on forever.
Four on the Floor, SCTV, so many good things. I'm going to list off some people. You tell me whether they're Canadian or not Canadian. You ready? Holy shit. Newton just surprised a squirrel in the house and it literally ran up the wall.
Oh, is it still here?
Okay, Canadian or non-Canadian? You ready?
Okay.
Jim Carrey.
Canadian.
All right. Celine Dion.
Canadian.
Pamela Anderson.
Canadian.
Michael J. Fox.
Canadian.
Ryan Reynolds.
Canadian.
Ryan Gosling.
Canadian.
William Shatner.
Canadian.
Keanu Reeves.
Canadian.
Mike Myers.
Canadian.
Seth Rogen.
Canadian.
Dan Aykroyd.
Canadian.
Donald Sutherland.
Canadian.
Michael Cera.
Canadian.
Alanis Morissette.
Canadian.
Ellen Page.
Canadian.
Hayden Christensen.
Canadian.
Will Arnett.
Canadian.
Kiefer Sutherland.
Canadian.
Damn it. Michael Bublé.
Canadian.
Matthew Perry.
Canadian.
Tommy Chong.
Canadian.
Corey Haim.
Canadian.
Jason Priestley.
Canadian.
Tom Green.
Canadian.
Carrie Ann Moss.
Canadian.
Alicia Cuthbert.
Canadian.
David Foster.
Canadian.
Steve-O.
Canadian.
Dead Mouse.
Canadian.
Yep. Elon Musk.
Not Canadian. And we're gone.
Yeah, I actually don't know about.
Basically,
I don't know if
you're welcome, world, for all the fucking amazing Canadians that we've given you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Carrey, and how are you this evening? All righty then. I grew up in Canada.
Okay, Google, who's the most famous Canadian?
I found 17 on the website thecanadiaguide.com. Here are the first 3. Terry Fox, David Suzuki, and Don Cherry.
Did you know? So I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know how many craft beer or microbrews there are in Canada.
Why don't we find out?
Okay. I know that there's about 80 in Alberta alone. So that means you can get some just amazing local beers. And do you have a number?
According to Google, by the end of 2014, there were 520 microbreweries operating in Canada, predominantly in Ontario and Quebec, according to the 2015 annual statistical bulletin released today by Beer Canada. This is an increase of almost 70% in the last 5 years, but that was June 25th, 2015.
Huh. Because it's only been recently that Alberta Gaming and Liquor Commission opened it up where
2018 proved to be another exciting and challenging year in the Canadian beer industry. The number of brewing facilities increased by 21.8% from 817 in 2017 to an all-time high of 995.
Wow.
Most of Canada's breweries are small local operations, with 93% producing less than 15,000 hectoliters of beer in 2018.
Jiminy Crickets. So,
Gee Willikers.
For Canada Day, I'm going to open up this.
Holy Captain Canada.
This beer, so it's a cream ale. It's red and white, which looks very Canadian to me.
Ow.
And it's from a local brewery here called the Good Mood Brewery.
It looks like wheat, but also like a Canada leaf.
I know.
A maple leaf.
So I would just like to give a shout out to the Good Mood Brewery.
Thanks for having us have beer before 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So I'm just going to try some. Oh, that's delicious.
Mm-mm.
A little hoppy. Just a hint.
I don't mind a hint of hop. I don't like a hell of a lot of hop.
No, some people are really into their IPAs that are like...
I'm not a person.
Yeah.
We've got a short film to release.
We do. Yeah, so we got to get busy with that.
I know. And you know what? I'm happy to put out a short film about Canada Day and Canada. However, we have this podcast.
Yeah.
We have to edit this podcast.
Yeah.
We have to release this podcast.
Yeah.
We have to finish up our short film.
Yeah.
We have to release the short film.
Yeah.
And this is probably the nicest weather we'll have this weekend.
Yeah.
We have 2 or 3 days of nice weather, and then it's back to nothing but rain.
Well, we'll just have to make sure we get out and about a little bit.
Oot in a boot.
Yeah, oot and a boot.
That's more Canadian, eh? Like oot in the boot.
Totally. So
And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, just for those that need to know, the apocalypse salad, the transplant was a success into the garden box.
Was it?
Yeah, the basil and the lettuce is starting to grow again.
It looked pretty floppy.
Well, now it's starting to firm up.
He just had to fondle it a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what. Yeah.
Tell it what a bad boy it was.
And I've discovered that 3 pot plants is probably 2 pot plants too many. Because so right now I'm gonna guess it's getting close to a foot high. These plants.
Foot? You think that's a foot?
Well, pretty close.
Well, you
like my elbow to my wrist is a foot. So it's getting pretty close.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like it's a growing concern.
I mean, I'm always confused what 6 inches is because nobody seems to tell me the truth. So that's why I'm so bad at math.
Oh, and distances.
It's true. Yeah.
Anyway, but what I found is that I thought it wouldn't start smelling until it budded up.
Oh no!
But it's pretty odoriferous.
Every day I come home, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Although I'd rather it smell like this now than when somebody
burns one down.
Burns one, because that's when it's like, ugh.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's like a lesson in horticulture.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Horticulture. It always makes me giggle.
Of hookers.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, squirrel's back.
Well, we might have fleas tomorrow. That's great.
Yeah.
Better than a beaver. Okay. That's.
Oh my God! I'll have to find this.
Speaking of beavers.
There's this great video I saw this last week of an RCMP officer that stopped traffic on a highway because a beaver was taking its sweet ass time getting across the road. So he had like a police escort across all the lanes.
Oh, that's so cute. Yeah. They're so adorable.
That's awesome.
I love beavers.
Yeah.
The actual beavers.
Yeah. Who doesn't love beavers?
I mean, some people probably, especially when they bite wood. I mean, some people like that, I've heard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're pretty cute.
They're super cute.
Yeah.
They can cause some troubles along the riverways. So especially when they dam shit up and, farmers' fields are anyway.
Yeah. Beavers are adorable though.
Oh my God. So so in the squirrel versus Newton incident.
I'm facing the wrong way. I can't see any of this.
So what ended up happening is the squirrel accidentally knocked so we had a pizza box sitting on the trash can to go out for recycling. So the pizza box is now covering the nuts. So the squirrel can't get out the nuts. So it keeps jumping onto the trash can, onto the pizza box. It knows that there's nuts in there, but there's a pizza box lid. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's like he's figuring it out. He's like Wile E. Coyote of squirrels. He's gonna have like a little Acme jetpack.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh, so he managed to flip the pizza box so it's now perpendicular, and he can now get into the nuts.
Great.
He's a problem solver. I like this guy.
Yeah. And what's Newton doing?
I can't see Newton. I assume. Oh, he's right beside you. He's just staring at the mayhem.
Well, the squirrel is almost the same size as Newton, so Newton's probably smart to not get bitten by a squirrel.
True.
Cool. Well,
how are you going to save the world this Canada Day long weekend?
This Canada Day long weekend. Well, I'm not sure actually.
Well, I would like to. I'd like to give you a suggestion.
Cool.
Because this Canada Day short, you have written it, you researched it, you've written it, you are producing it because you found all the footage that we're going to use.
Oh yeah.
I've
worked really hard.
You put in a fuck ton of work for this short.
Yeah.
So I'd like to say that you've already done your job saving the world.
Thank you.
It's going to be a edutainment extravaganza.
We even have original music for it too.
Yeah, coming from our friend Chad Blaine, composer extraordinaire.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So I think that you don't even have to think about it because you've already done it.
Well, usually when I mean, the last couple of weeks I've been pretty lazy with saving the world only because usually we try to, do saving the world stuff like fundraisers and give money to things and, take clothes to at least, clothing bins and stuff. But I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. So I'm going to work my ass off because we still have a lot to do with this short film to get it out on time.
Yep.
We always try to get things out early, but other things get in the way, like real jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
and these last couple of weeks for me have been nuts.
Well, this is why we need staff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so ask me.
What are you going to do to save the world, Mr. Drop Bear?
I am going to double down on our Patreon page. I'm going to get that thing figured out so that we can inspire people to become patrons of the arts so that we can have staff. Because I think that Drop Bear and Panda Save the World, we can do a lot more world saving if we have a budget.
Yeah.
And I think people would be down to, donate $1 or $5 a month.
You know what would be great? With a budget, we can not only get more sock jingles, but we could also include other people in our short films and whatnot, which I think would be a lot of fun. Speaking of sock jingles, we have an amazing sock jingle for you. Plus, we might be giving away some socks this week.
We are.
Yep.
Which sock jingle do you want me to cue up?
Number 2.
Reach for the top, reach for the socks, those Friday socks. Friday socks, ethically made. Drop Bear and Panda, love them, love them. Friday socks, designed in Canada, perfectly mismatched, freaky, freaky, freaky. Reach for the top, reach for the socks, those Friday socks. Reach for the top, those Friday socks.
Okay, Google, say, see you later, alligator.
Bye-bye, honey pie.
Okay, hosers, I've been Panda.
I've been Dropberry.
And this has been
Drop Bear and Panda.
Save the World.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, the Friday Sock Company.
This podcast was recorded at the Drop Bear and Panda Kensington studio.
Special thanks to Emery Cords for the kick-ass theme music.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Drop Bear and Panda, yeah. Drop Bear and Panda, yeah. Drop Bear and Panda, coming at you, Panda. Coming at you like a locomotive on a motherfucking bender. Yeah, tell my culture now, watch out, follow me. Yeah, with Michael Doggies, yeah, you be checking on the flow, yo. Checking flow, bitch, you was quick, you can't pick my medical ranges, angles, tangles. You get tangled, twisted side effects, child should be. Can't compete with the owls that devour. Yeah, with the owls that devour, yeah. Yeah, the Drop Bear and Panda, coming at you right now. Drop Bear and Panda, coming at you right now. Drop Bear and Panda, coming at you right now. It's like a locomotive filled with autonomous chopper. Drop Bear and Panda, coming at you right now. It's like a locomotive filled with autonomous chop out.
Drop it, Panda.